Hello and welcome. I've had some subscribers ask me to illustrate the locked hands technique in greater depth. And this is a technique which was used by George Shearing and Ahmad Jamal, Nat King Cole, many of the great pianists. Involves playing the chord like this with the melody doubled here, like this, that type of sound. Now I picked the tune out, Fly Me to the Moon, to illustrate this technique. So if we play the song with a regular type of chords like spread voicings and whatnot, it's going to sound like this. Like that. So now the locked hand technique is going to sound a lot different. It's going to fill in every note of the melody is going to be a different chord. Like this. Okay, let's take a closer look at this locked hands technique to see what's really going on. The first chord we know is A minor 7, like that. So what's happening is in the right hand, that'd be the root position, first inversion, second inversion. So we're starting with the inversion that allows us to play the melody note on top. That's the first chord. Then we double the melody here, the melody note. Now the next chord, it isn't just that, but it's actually a diminished chord. So what we have to do is go to that. See, that's minor thirds. Every interval is a minor third. So what happens is when we go to the diminished chord, now it wants to pull us to the next chord. It has more tension in it. So it creates a really nice sound plus more tension to take us to the next inversion of an A minor 7, which is that one. It's the first inversion there. I'm doubling the melody here. So again, A minor 7, then the diminished chord, which we could call G sharp or A flat diminished, whatever you like, going to an A minor 7 there. Now the next chord is very interesting because it's another diminished chord, but it's the one that's going to take us to D minor 7, which is the next chord in the song. So it's going to be this one. There. See, so instead of it just being like that, it's this diminished 7. Now we can call it a B flat diminished, or you can call it a E diminished or a D flat diminished, whatever you like. You can call it any of those, but it's leading us to D minor, so my inclination is to call it the D flat diminished. There's your D minor 7. Now that's D minor 7 inverted there with the melody note here. So again, that first line, A minor 7, A flat diminished or G sharp diminished to another A minor 7, and now a D flat diminished to take us to the D minor. And it continues to go like that, whether we're descending or ascending in the melody line. Like that. There's a D minor, now the B flat diminished again, or D flat diminished, D minor. Now this next one's a G, that's the G7 chord, which is there. But I'm putting the flat 9, which gives me another diminished sounding chord. It's actually a diminished chord. Anytime you play a dominant 7th with a flat 9, you actually, the upper extension of it is a diminished 7th chord. So now we have another diminished chord here, leading us to D minor 7. Now a G, I'm calling that a G13 because of the 6 being in it. It's really a G6 chord. Now another diminished chord, which is a B, I'm going to call it a B diminished, moving to C major. Okay, so now that just continues through the whole song, this alternating between diminished chords and mostly 6th voicings with the melody on top doubled with the thumb. And sometimes the thumb will go like that to create some personality into it, I guess you'd call it. There's another diminished chord there. Now here's the F chord. There's a diminished. There's the F6, another diminished. There's a D minor there, another diminished. Then here's another diminished chord, which is really an E7 flat 9, really, but it's a diminished chord, actually. It's A minor, to E7, to A minor, 7. Then the A7 flat 9 becomes diminished. So that's the secret of this. Now, this is a lot different from the drop 2. The drop 2 is similar, but I'm going to just give you a little bit of that so you can see the difference. Okay, continuing, the locked hand technique, like they're moving parallel, locked in position like that, is a lot different. Well, similar to the drop 2 in this way. We're using the same type of chords, but we're voicing them differently. In other words, in the drop 2, what we're taking is the second note from the top, we're bringing it down to here, to the left hand, and we're removing it from the right hand. But we're still using the alternate diminished chord type of movement, like this. Like this. Now we have to go to there to get that diminished. And then up here. Then this one. So you see, that's a little bit trickier to execute, but it's a beautiful sounding way of voicing this passage. So I'm just going to give you that much of it, but if you'd like more of this, send me a comment, or if you like it, if you got something out of this, I hope this clears up some of the mystery of the locked hands technique, which is a great technique to use in the spirit of George Shearing and Nat King Cole, Ahmad Jamal, and all the rest of them. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.